Okay, and then this is a review from a past standard. 4B is assignment 4B. Okay, first direction, say determine whether each function is an example of exponential growth or decay. Then find the y-intercept. Okay. Number one, y equals 2 times 4 to the x power. Well, if I take a number times 4, it grows. So that's growth. And the y-intercept. If I set x equal to 0 and put a 0 in for x, then that's 1. So it's 2 times 1, which should be 2. That's your answer. Okay, number 2. Y equals 3 times 0.25 to the x power. So if I take it something times 0.25, 0.25 is less than 1. So it actually decays. And the y-intercept 0, 3. Okay, number 3. Y equals 25 over 7, and then 7 over 5 to the x power. Now that's a fraction, but that doesn't mean it's decay, because if you take 7 divided by 5, when the top number is bigger than the bottom number, that's going to be greater than 1. So that's greater than 1, so that's growth. And then 25/7 would be my y-intercept. Okay, number 4. Y equals 0.5 1/4 to the x power. That would be decay, because 1 over 4 is less than 1 whole. So decay, then 0.5, that's my y-intercept. Okay, next, now the directions change. Write each equation in logarithmic form. Okay, so the example's 5. We got 5 to the 4th equals 125. Actually, that's wrong. I need to change that. That makes, because 5 to the 4th is not 125. It's 5 to the 3rd. Okay, so it's 3. Okay. Now you put log. Now your exponent goes over here, 3's over there, and then you're going to have a 5 as your base, and then 125. Now to type that into a Google Doc, remember how to do that. I'll reiterate that. Okay, to type a logarithm, you have to go insert, equation. Now go to your 4th tab, and you do that XA thing, okay, XA. So log, enter, and then at 5, enter again, 125 equals 3, okay. So remember, you just go to that X, 4th tab over, XA, type in log, enter, 5, enter, 125 equals 3. Okay, 10 to the negative 3rd equals 0.001. So log, remember the exponent's over here, the base here, 0.001. Okay. Okay, evaluate each logarithm. So number 7, we have log base 6 of 216. Need to find out what that equals. You multiply 6's till you reach a product of 216. That's 36, and that equals 216, so that's 3. So it'd be 3. 6 to the third power would equal 216. Number 8. Log base 5 of 625. Well, it's not 1. That's 25. That's 125. That's 625. Okay. Use a calculator. So it's 4. Okay, log base 11, 121. That equals 121 right there, so it's 2. Okay, number 10, log base 3 of 1 over 27. Now we want to just do 27, but since it's a reciprocal of 27, we just put a negative, okay? So 3, that's 9, that's 27. But when it's a reciprocal, it needs to be a negative 3. Okay, write the expression as a single logarithm. 3 log base 2 of A minus 2 log base 2 of B. So I just write log base 2 one time, and then I make a parentheses, and I put A divided by B. Minus means we're going to divide. And then it's going to be A to the third, B to the second. Now remember how to enter that in, okay? Okay, your thing's up. So you go to the 4th tab, A to the B, X to the A. So log, enter 2, enter parentheses. Then I go back to that function, and I go to the fraction, okay, A over B, okay. So I want A to the third on top of the fraction. So now I go shift, and it's A to the B right there. So A, enter 3, enter, enter takes you to the bottom, and you want B to the second. So you go X to the B, B, enter 2. Enter, close the parentheses, and there you are. Okay. Okay, number 12. Expand the logarithm. Log base 10 of 3x to the second, y to the second. So now I'm expanded it into multiple logarithms. I have 3 factors, the 3, the x to the second, and the y. So I would need 3 log base 10s. Okay, and I'm going to have 3 x to the second, but then that 2 comes around to the front, and then y to the second comes around to the front. And with multiplication, we would add the expanded logarithms. Okay. So enter that answer in. I'd go new equation, 4th tab, x to the A, log, enter 10, enter 3, and then plus, go back to the x to the A then, 2 log, enter 10, enter x, plus, and then x to the A again, 2 how it's entered in. Okay, now you're solving equations for x, number 13. 27 to the 3x power equals 81. First off, if your x is an exponent, you parenthesize it along with its base. Okay. Then I would use the change of base formula, COB. That's where I take the exponent and set it equal to the log divided by log. I don't need to do any undo any operations outside of here. So remember, you got to put the 27 on the bottom, the 81 on top. Okay, then on Google Calculator, just type in log 81, close parentheses, divided by log 27, close parentheses, 1.33, and then I just divide by 3. And that's my answer for x. Okay, 0.4 repeating. 0.44 is good enough. Okay. For 14, 3 to the power of x minus 1 equals 24. So exponent and the base. There's no operations to undo, so you go to your COB. So x minus 1 is equal to log over log and 3 and 24. Okay, figure out what that is on the Google calculator or your phone calculator, whatever. It's not 8. It's not 24 divided by 8. It ain't the same thing. Okay, 2.89. Then I add 1 to both sides and I get 3.89. Okay, number 15. 2 log base 10 of x equals 4. Well, you got to get rid of this logarithm first off, okay? Well, and again, you might have forgot how to do that. That's why I'm taking you through this, okay? 2 log base 10 of x equals 4. So here's my logarithm. But outside you got a 2, so you got to divide by 2 first. So that's 4. That's 2. Now rewrite that without the exponent. Whoops, I made a mistake here. I should have put that x in parentheses there. Okay, now whatever's in parentheses is by itself. Then over here you write an exponent equation. That's your base 10, your exponent's 2, and 10 to the second power is 100. Okay, so again, if you have any operations outside of the log base 10 of x, you need to undo that by dividing. Okay, then you're ready to rewrite it. So x equals 10 to the second power, which is 100. 16. Okay, 2e to the 3x power equals 16. Then off this side it says hint ln. Okay, before you use ln, you got to undo the times 2. So you're going to divide by 2, and now you're at 8. Okay, now to get the e out of here, if you take the ln of both sides and the e goes away and you just have 3x. Now on a calculator you got to find out what the natural log of 8 would be. So ln 8, 2.08. Then divide by 3. .69. Okay, number 17. Now this one says, it has another hint off to the side. got ln x plus 1 plus ln of x minus 1 equals 4. First off, you need to condense this logarithm, so the ln, you're going to have ln and you're going to have x plus 1. Plus means times x minus 1 equals 4. Now you need to now take the e out of both sides, okay, because to get rid of ln you use e, but you use e as a base, and these are going to be exponents now. Now we need to FOIL that, okay? We take x times negative 1, 1 times x, 1 times negative 1. So we got x second, negative 1x, positive 1x. So guess what we get to do? Cancel those, negative 1. So we have x to the second minus 1, and then I find what e to the fourth is. So there's e, hit your x to the y power, gives you the exponent. E to the fourth is 54.60. Then I add 1. It's going to be 55.60. Now you got to find the square root of 55.60. Okay. Okay, so square root 55.60. 7.46. It could be positive or negative though, because when you have an even root of a number, you could have positive or negative. Okay, 18. Now we're to the word problems. I deposit $300 in a savings account. The account earns 5% interest per year, compounded quarterly. How much money will be in the account after 12 years? So here's the compound interest formula. P times 1 plus R divided by N to the power of NT equals A. Now we've got to find out what numbers go in for all these, what they mean, what numbers go in, and all that. Okay, the P and the A are both money amounts. The A is what we don't know. Okay, the P is the principal. That's the money amount. That's your beginning money amount. That's $300. R is your percentage, but you got to write it as a decimal. So you're going to take 5%. So 0.05 is your R. Okay, N is how many times in a year. Well, quarterly means 4, so N equals 4. T is how many years you have. Okay, T is years. So the years we have in this problem is 12. So I know all of these, okay. So I just plug them in. I got 300. 1 plus R, that's going to be 0.05 divided by N. N is 4. Now outside we got an exponent, N times T, so 4 times 12 equals A. Well, 4 times 12 is 48. So we need to simplify that parentheses, okay, and get rid of that. Take 1 plus 0.05 divided by 4. So 1.0125, so I have 300 times 1.0125 to the 48th power equals A. Then I just plug that in, and that's my answer. Remember, P is your money amount, R is the percent as a decimal, N is going to be 4 on quarterly every time. Years is 12, you just plug them in. So you have 300 times 1.0125, x to the y, 48. Okay, $545 is the answer. Okay, number 19. A town's population has 5,000 people. It grows at a rate of 3% per year. How long will it take the town to reach a population of 7,000 people? The years. Okay, so I make my side box and do a units analysis. People and years. Years is X, people's Y, times always X. People per year There is no people per year, it's a percent per year. It's growing, so plus 3%. Okay. Now you're not talking about a compound interest. What you're talking about is just a simple exponential growth between two units. It's a times b to the x power equals y. Now a and y stand for the same unit. Y is people, so both of these are people amounts. A is where the people began at, which was 5,000. Y is where the people ended at, which was 7,000, so we know those. The B is your percentage, but you need to make it into a growth factor. You can't just go 3%. You take 100% plus 3%, that's 103%, and that's your B, 1.03. Meanwhile, the X is the years, okay, and we don't know the years, so that's a question mark, okay. So we write the equation, 5,000 times 1.03 to the x power equals 7,000. Now when you're solving x is a power, parenthesize that in the base. First thing you need to do is undo the times 5,000. You divide by 5,000. You do not subtract it. That's 1.4. Then I'm going to use the COB, the change of base, where I go x equals log over log, 1.4 on top, 1.03 on bottom. That'll be my answer. Okay. It's a quick way to find how much of that base can make the product. Okay, 11.38. Why don't you go 12 on that? So 12 years. Okay, then the last one. You buy a boat for $4,000. The boat decreases in value by a constant percent each year. After 3 years, the boat's worth $3,217. What percent is a boat decreasing by in value each year? So you're finding the percent. It's number 20. So do a units analysis. You got dollars and years. Years is X, dollars is Y. It's not a dollars per year, it's a percentage per year, but we don't even know the percent, so we put B percent. Okay. So it's an exponential growth equation between the two units. A times B to the X power equals Y. Remember, A and Y are the same thing, so Y is dollars, A is dollars. So the dollars in that problem start at 4,000 and they end at it ends at 3,217. Now the B we don't know, okay? So question mark. And the X is your years. Well, you know you have 3 years, okay? So now it works a little bit differently. I know my A, 4,000. I don't know my B, so I leave that B to the third equals 3,217. Now all you have to do is divide and then find what the root is, okay? You don't have to use the log because you're not solving for the exponent, okay? The B's right here. It's raised to the third power. Okay, 0.80425. Then I make a root and I put a 3 next to it, okay? Now, on your problem is, on these, it's hard to know how to do that without your calculator. So what you're going to do a cubed root, you're going to go 0.80425, hit your x to the y power, and make a parentheses, please, and punch in 1 divided by 1/3, like 1 divided by 3, okay? That is how you will do a cubed root. If it's a fourth root, it'd be 1 divided by 4, and so forth. So 0.93. Remember, to solve for a percent, you need to subtract 1. Negative 0.07, and you got to move the decimal 2 forward, okay? So that would be negative 7%, or 7%. I don't care if you put the negative on it, it's up to you. So again, on the calculator, you're going to have to take that, and then x to the y, parentheses 1 divided by 3, and then minus 1, move the decimal.